matching hundreds. Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan Coachman. This is Madden NFL Football on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see teams with a couple of running backs who each went over 100 yards a weekend ago, as it'll be the Indianapolis Colts taking on the New York Giants. With that, let's get up to MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Standing by for the call, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, we welcome everybody to the Garden State. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Indianapolis Colts and the New York Giants. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you take a look at this Giants ball club. The streak continues, doesn't it? They come in here a perfect 11-0. Meanwhile, for the visiting Colts, they come in feeling good after back-to-back victories. The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. And they will be led out by their 6'3" quarterback.
And what I enjoyed watching this week when we had a chance to watch them at practice, the easy camaraderie that he has with his offense.
A lot of respect.
A lot of respect, and frankly, I thought it spilled over to the defense. All the defensive guys were coming over and teasing and joking with him. You can tell they respect the heck out of him and really want to play well for him.
Here we go now. Green 39.
On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. Gets past one man. A second Jude. North of 100 yards, the two scores, and, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good, too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide. How about his performance last week? Over 200 yards. I think his decisiveness, one cut and he goes, that's what's really made him pile up the yardage.
And the yardage he piled up last week, easily honored with NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
I would have voted for him.
J.J. Watt, the one that gets him down. The New York Giants offensively, their starters, and one guy out wide to take a look at, Sterling Shepard.
A really mature man in every way coming out of Oklahoma. Personally and professionally, you can play him out wide, play him in the slot. He can return punts for you. He's a dynamic playmaker.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. He'll find his man on the comeback route. Complete. 70th catch for him on the year, and like so many others, this goes for a first down.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Now a play fake here on first down. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down. Of course, he's coming off that NFC Offensive Player of the Week performance. 2 scores in that game a week ago.
And how did he get them? Speed is one thing, but how about the niftiness in his route running, able to cross people up in the secondary and make sure that they can't quite get to him before the ball arrives. He's something else.
The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. Jabal Sheard in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
And the Giants send out their punter now. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. And the Colts getting ready to go. His first carry. Oh, now he bowls him over. And he's able to get this across the 10 before being taken down. Simply not much more you can ask out of your running back. Over 100 yards and the 3 touchdowns.
And for an old coot like me, I loved it because he did it on the ground. A running back taking control of the game. That's what I like to see.
Hold on. An old coot?
Coot, C-O-O-T.
All right, I'll look that up later. On 1st and 10, Locke. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. He got 29 yards that time.
What a catch and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Well, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them,
don't they? They get a little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committee, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game.
Now it's Hines, and they're running right through him. So he got 3 of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Down on the field, we've got an injured Colt after that last play. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. Off of play action, Locke looking deep downfield. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A big play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Colts are going to take a first-quarter lead. And there, Charles, he lined up out left, ran the post, caught it over the middle, and the rest, as they say, is history. And
you have to love the scheme that they just showed there, because if you're going to run a deep post, you ordinarily have to get a safety out of the middle of the field. And you do it one of 2 ways. Either by running routes at him that carries him away from it, or you either freeze him in the middle with routes that run underneath so that he doesn't get depth. Then you throw it over the top, and boy, what a successful play that was.
Cairo Santos on to try the extra point. Santos able to tack on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. A drive there of just 4 plays, and the result for the Colts is a touchdown. Santos out now. He'll kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And New York set to take the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
25 yards the pick up there and also a first down.
What I continually hear from running backs and offensive linemen is how often they're actually getting together to watch film so they can get in sync with each other, understand blocking patterns better, how a running back likes to cut, what he wants to do. And, boy, it all came together on that one.
That's one where they watch it and say, hey, we did everything we were supposed to do right there.
That looked like the play we drew up and designed. And then we got to see it unfold in real time.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he's going to take this one across midfield and into Colts territory. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. The starters now on the defensive side of the ball for Indianapolis. Against the pass, they're toward the middle of the league, number 15 in the NFL.
Take those rankings, throw them right out the window because this is what you prepare for. This is what you practice for. This is what you think about. The ultimate test, taking on the #1 overall offense in the league.
They'll set up to throw. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. That goes for a gain of 31.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody who has that ability, they want them on their team.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down.
Here we go now.
This is Barkley. And the nimble footwork gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
On the run, it's Barkley. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal. The first drive this unit had, they punted. This drive, much more polished, just looking crisper, aren't they, moving the ball?
Maybe the first drive was a little bit of a wake-up call. Probably a little bit angry that they had to punt the ball away the first time they had it. Got motivated, got to the sideline, said, okay, let's not let that happen here as we take over again.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And incomplete. An excellent play downfield. Should have been picked off, really. But 2nd down instead.
Not only did they drop what looked like an interception in the end zone, they blew a golden opportunity to shift the momentum.
A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. They come out here in the eye. He'll look to throw, and he can't hang on. That's definitely going to be one he wishes he had back. Incomplete in the end zone.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Here's Barkley. And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line. This defense bending but not breaking. It's a gain of 3. It's now 4th and goal.
Brandon, it's a situation like this where a head coach writes himself a note before the game. Remember, it's a long game. You don't have to chase points early. But on the other hand, it's a huge disappointment if you only come away with 3 after a big drive. Let's see what he decides to do.
So it's an old-school extra point that counts 3 times. So it's certainly a disappointment they weren't able to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, I can just imagine post-game, head coach looking at the box score, 19-yard field goal, grimacing a little bit, but having to realize that at that moment, getting 3 points was vital. Go ahead and get the points, put them on the board.
The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And the Colts coming out now. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And they'll run it here. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Here's Luck now on 2nd down. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Ogletree, and to the 43, so down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. Last week, a strong showing, up over 100, also 2 trips to the end zone.
It's the kind of week that if you said, listen, I'll let you have this type of a game each and every week, you'd sign up for it. You wouldn't try and get too greedy. But let's face it, good runners always want to be a little bit more greedy at the end, try and squeeze out every last yard.
And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Jabal Sheard in there for sack number 85 of his great career, moving him past Hall of Famer Howie Long on the all-time list. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Shepard. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 23 yards on the play.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
They go play action here on 1st down. His throw caught at about the 5. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver, because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
Down this close to the goal line, 1st down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball on 1st down in this situation, because 2nd down, that gives me that option of running play action and maybe throwing it.
Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal. Again, he'll drop to throw. And Ingram's got it. Touchdown, Giants. Evan Ingram, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Giants are in for 6.
Well, the lost sleep that the defensive coordinator had all week preparing for this game, A good portion of it was trying to prepare for him because he's absolutely a phenomenal player.
And a lot of times around the goal line, they know it's going to him. It's just so hard to stop.
And that's where it really becomes difficult because you're exactly right. They know it's going to him, yet they still can't stop it. That tells you when you're a dominant player.
Rosas good with the extra point. And the lead is now 10-7. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Andrew Luck and company heading back onto the field. And he'll look to rebound from the early interception that led to 6 points the other way.
And when he threw the interception and he had to come to the sideline, I guarantee his first thought wasn't about the interception itself, but what could result. And I know he was thinking to himself, come on, defense, bail me out. Well, they weren't able to in this situation. Now he's got to go out and atone for it himself, but he can't force things.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
On 2nd down, here's Luck. It's caught. Humphries. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one for Indianapolis, resulting in 15 yards and a fresh set of downs. Luck now already over 100 yards passing in just this first quarter. It's 1st and 10. So 1 quarter in the books on a cold December afternoon. It's a 3-point game here early. Back to MetLife Stadium in just a moment. Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Colts in possession of the football to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. Play action. It's Luck. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Alec Ogletree coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. A shotgun snap for Luck. Looking and finding Allen Hurns. And he'll get it down here to the 43. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Luck. He finds Humphries. He's exceeded his receiving yards from a week ago, and we're still in the first half. It's a 1st down. Well, this is how you shape the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row, I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Again, Luck escapes the sack, but he can't get away forever, and down he goes.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
The Colts send out their punter, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because, as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. Gets it up past the 10 with a nice move. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
I think they're ahead of schedule now after that run. They might be bold with this 2nd down call after that type of a game.
Here we go.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line.
All right, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up. Back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle.
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Hurry up, here we go.
And indeed, that's what they'll do is they run it here. And this one will be taken up. They'll spot it right at the 7. Call it a gain of 5. 4th down now. But just like you said, they've got the lead. Don't do anything silly. Run the football, and that's what they did.
They would have liked to have created a little more room for their punter, but he'll take what they gave him, and he'll go out there now and try and get the ball off and help his defense.
And the Giants send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. It's a 69-yard punt. 69 yards. Wow. And the Colts are going to take over, albeit deep in their own territory. Andrew Luck now, he gears up to lead this offense again. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get him back into the ballgame or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone else just to say, guys, let's go. Try and create that energy, create that spark.
Well, so far he has 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He'll be looking for that 2nd touchdown now. Luck on 1st down. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. Just his second incompletion so far. He's 8 for 10. I think he'll take 80%.
There's no doubt that he will, but if you're the defensive play caller, you better circle what you just dialed up on your play sheet and come back to it because you just caused an incompletion. You need a few more of those.
And they'll go on the ground. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. He only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
From the gun on 3rd down, Luck. Now a hit, and Luck lost the football. It's out. And he'll lose yardage here, back to the 15. The Colts send out their punter, standing just about on his own goal line. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And it's fielded at the 34. It's a 47-yard punt, but they did give up 10 on the return. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
This quarterback now 7 of 10 here in this first half, and he's got a 1st and 10.
Here we go.
They'll set up a throw. He's going to rifle one deep left. And this is taken in at the 5. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Evan Ingram with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Giants add on to their lead. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Rosas now to add the PAT. PAT up and good by Rosas. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Now the Colts offense gets ready to head back on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they're still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down. The Colts on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. From the gun, here's Love. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Give the Colts 13 yards and a first down.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
Now it's Love. It's caught right side. It's Hearns. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to East Rutherford, but first this timeout. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Out of the gun, Luck. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
The Colts on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. To the air again, Luck. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down. Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Here's Luck. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The passing game for the Colts finding its stride, another first down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over, and we'll see what they come up with here on this next play. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Luck throwing again. That's complete right around the 8. And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. Dallas Goedert, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Colts able to get this back within a touchdown.
The big fella was the recipient there for that touchdown pass, and it seems like more and more the tight end is the guy you have to worry about most in the passing game.
Now the point after try for Santos. Santos with the extra point, and the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14. A 10-play drive that time, and the gadget play gets him into the end zone. Santos out now. He'll kick it away. This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, second down.
Tremendous coverage there. Just did not catch the football and complete the interception. But what do they say all the time? If he had really good hands, he'd be playing offense.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Sterling Shepard, and now it's 3rd down.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way, so he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it, just move on to the next play.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10.
Here we go.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And a pretty little juke move there, but not a ton to show for it afterwards as he's brought down. And another timeout taken by the Colts, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. And the Giants send out their punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something that you normally see. Most of the time, we're thinking about those guys covering pass catchers. In this case, he was a big factor in the run game. No gain.
We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things definitely getting interesting around the NFL as we begin the month of December. So let's get right to it. We'll start with 2 teams that are used to being linked on Thanksgiving. Detroit visiting Dallas, and it's the Cowboys who are out in front. Ezekiel Elliott has run for a touchdown there. From there, we head up to Wisconsin to check out the Packers at home in Lambeau. And it's the visiting Jets who have the lead in that one. Sam Darnold has a couple of touchdown passes. Lastly, let's check in at our nation's capital, see what's happening with the Redskins at home at FedEx Field. And this one going the visitors' way, as the Texans have the lead in that one. Tariq Cohen accounting for the lone scoring thus far, as he's cashed in with a touchdown run. Meanwhile, in our game, no shortage of offense as each team been able to move the ball effectively. Will the defenses show up in the second half? To find out, we give it back to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these 2 teams as we come back for this second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Out come the Colts. They'll have it first here to start quarter number 3. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that.
And a big loss is here as he's taken down. This guy is in a zone. Remember, he had a sack hat trick last week. That got him NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Another one right here.
I love how you phrase that, in the zone, because I'm a firm believer that like a running back, like a quarterback, when guys get hot and get locked in, the same thing happens for guys getting sacks. Their moves are working, and they're getting home and putting guys on the ground.
After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's second and a country mile. Throwing his luck. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a gain of 6 on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. On 3rd down, that's Hines. Oh, now he bowls him over. And now running right through it. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And the Giants send out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. That'll be a 43-yard punt, but a net of just 33 following a 10-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here's the Giants offense now getting set to start the 3rd quarter. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they look to add to that lead.
And how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had to fly, just sending the guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Well, it was 2nd long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving them exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen.
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this 2nd half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
And he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Mills. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, I tell you, Brandon, this ball's intercepted, but it is 3rd down. So the silver lining is that since this is so far down the field and there wasn't a big run back associated with it, really this kind of works like a punt. It's not an altogether bad result.
And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
He gets it to Humphries. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that...
And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Third and long, it's Love. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his second of the game. Instead, fourth down.
Are we on the same page here, partner? Because I think they have the right idea. Just take what you can get on third and forever.
Yeah, in real life, I'd say yes. It's just these video games are tempting. You want to go downfield with it.
I like the way you've evolved. You know, you've learned how to play it the Madden way.
It's a 44-yard punt, just 3 on the return. And possession will switch hands, first and 10. And New York set to take the field. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what do we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis.
Let's go.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39.
It seemed like the situation was second and a mile to go for a first down, which screams what? Throw the football. You got to pass in order to try and pick up that kind of yardage. But in this case, they ran a tendency breaker because the tendency is for defenses to be out there and be set up for a pass. So you break tendency and actually run the football. That changes everything, because if you're able to find a crease, you often have bigger guys working against smaller guys downfield. They picked up excellent yardage there to bring up the third down.
And that is incomplete.
Really good, smart play by the defense, understanding third and short, guarding the first down sticks, and being able to make a play on the football and bat it down.
And the Giants send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. The Colts offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Now a play fake here on first down. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
The job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. To throw is Locke. He finds Hearns left side. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. On 3rd down, that's Hines. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. Call it a gain of 4, but not enough. The punt team going to need to be summoned here on 4th down.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
The Colts send out their punter as he's on for the 5th time here today. That's taken on the 25. A good return there, 17 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. New York set to take the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and give these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And he finds a man on the crossing route. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue, landed.
He'll drop to throw. Over the middle, he's got his tight end Ingram. And he's taken down inside the 30. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely.
I mean,
size, the hands.
Speed, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator.
And he's got it. Touchdown, Giants. As his guys are in for 6, and the Giants are able to grow their lead. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. Rosas to add the extra point. Rosas good with the extra point, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Andrew Luck and company heading back onto the field. How do you think he personally is evaluating his game so far? He was pretty good in the first half, been good so far here in the third quarter. He's got to like it, right?
Not looking for the dramatics here. Not trying to set the world on fire in terms of stats. It's almost like you're driving. Hands at 10 and 2, alert for anything out there, watching for trouble on the road, and making sure you get the team home.
The bus driver. See if he can drive the bus here again on this drive.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Hines. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Back to throw. Love. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping him from the 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Before they can get the punt away, whistles as we've come to the end of the 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. It's the Giants with the football and also the lead as we get set to start quarter number 4. They begin with a run by Barkley. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace. I am speechless. I am without speech.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Now back to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. Despite the lead here in the 4th, they're still taking shots.
Not content to sit on this lead at all. And to me, it raises the question of what's right in this game nowadays. Do you sit on the ball and run it because you have enough of a lead? Or do you try and extend it because you always feel like the other team can come back?
Extend it. Have some fun. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Here's Locke. Wide open receiver, complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 16 yards right off the bat and a 1st down. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
Now a 1st down throw. Locke. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. A good pick up there of 20 yards. Luck now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the 2nd half. Not bad. 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Locke. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. 23 yards on the play. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball, and you put up a token press. Make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time. Make it a little bit of resistance so they can't just run it right down your throat.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Throwing again is Locke. This is caught. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. A gain of 9 there. Sets up 2nd and goal. Second and goal from the 1. They'll try to run with Hines. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Nyheim Hines, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Colts have got it back to a 1-score game.
Well, Brandon, he just followed his nose, and his nose took him to the end zone. But how about the big guys up front? Give him at least a stalemate in order to find that space.
Yeah, the O-line won the battle in the trenches there, didn't they? Santos now to add the PAT. Santos able to tack on the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. 5 plays there on that drive. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Santos out now. He'll kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. And there are the numbers. Got off to that torrid hot start. We thought he was in for maybe a career day. Not the case.
No doubt about it. It almost looks like a misprint after what we saw in the first half. But let's give a little bit of credit to the guys on our side of the ball. They went in at halftime, made a few adjustments, and you know what else? They didn't lose their confidence in their ability to play. Because a lot of times you get beat down in the first half, it gets ugly in the second half. They've come out with a new resolve and a renewed determination.
Now let's go. Green.
Now it's Barkley. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
He gets 7 out of it, and he also gets a first. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
And they'll run it here. Evades the tackler, and now some space. Touchdown, Giants! Saquon Barkley, his 25th touchdown, tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. And the Giants add on to their lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
PAT up and good by Rosas. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. A drive that time of 6 plays. And a pretty good run there in the end to top it off. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at the 3. And return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
On first down, it's Long. Pass incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it. When you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. The Colts on third down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This will be 3rd and 6. Here's Love. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 4 yards on the pickup, and that's going to make it 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Now on 4th down here, that pass knocked away and incomplete. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the 4th quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers, 4th quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense. And this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it. And let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there.
Well, I don't think there's any question, Brandon, at this stage, the stop troops, the defensive guys, they got to use their 3 timeouts here. They've got to stop them and get the ball back.
Yeah, if you're in that 2 to 3 score deficit window that they're in now, you got to get it ASAP.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Stop them, use your timeouts. Easier to move the ball on offense without timeouts than to stop them on defense without using them.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. On 3rd down, Barkley. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
But forget knowing where the first down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front, and a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough times, your defense is going to be pretty good. They had more people to the football and snuffed out the play.
So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And Rosas puts this one through. And that will stretch the lead up to 13. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. On 2nd and 10, Locke. It's caught right side, it turns. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. Clock management, definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Luck on 1st down. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. Back-to-back nice gains, that one for 14 yards and another 1st. From the red zone now, Locke. Now a hit, and Locke lost the football. It's out. And who's got it? The Giants.
Well, that drive wasn't a case of wanting to put points on the board. It was needing to, having to, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah, didn't get it done, and now you look at the situation and the point differential, 2 scores, pretty much game, set, match.
How about the takeaway, though, huh? How about those defensive guys?
The Giants offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense.
All right, here we go.
They'll run it again with Barkley. And down he goes just beyond the 35, and that pretty move got him some extra space to run. Now the Colts going to burn the 2nd of their timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. The offense on 3rd down tonight, just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And brought down, but not before he was able to break the tackle, and the extra effort moves the sticks. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. And the Giants will kneel it here out of the victory formation. They'll go ahead and take the knee here, and the unbeaten season will continue.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
Well, I know at points in this when you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for the Giants, the streak continues as they push their mark to a perfect 12-0 now on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for Indianapolis, it'll be loss number 6 on the season for them. And they will get a home date next week against the Los Angeles Chargers. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.